The sun was setting over the horizon as I stepped into the Kamala Beach Resort, Phuket, with a sense of excitement and anticipation. But little did I know, my dreams of a perfect getaway were about to shatter into a million pieces. As I walked into the communal bathroom, I was greeted by the loud noise of the cleaning staff, who seemed more interested in injecting water to jump the water legs than actually cleaning the bathroom. It was as if they were trying to make a point, but what that point was, I had no idea. The lack of training was palpable, and I couldn't help but wonder if this was a sign of things to come. I checked into my room, and that's when the real horror show began. The facilities were old, dusty, and infested with ants. It was like they had given me the oldest room in the hotel just because. The AC was leaking, and there was a hefty no smoking sign, which seemed more like a warning than a rule. I felt like I was in a time warp, stuck in the dark ages. I decided to venture out to the restaurant, hoping that the food would make up for the subpar room. But oh, how wrong I was. The food was a catastrophe. I ordered all 3 meals at the hotel because of the poor location, and I was stuck with a terrible case of gastroenteritis. The worst food poisoning I had ever had, with more than 5 days of puking and diarrhea that left me running to the toilet every 15 minutes. I was convinced that it was either the water from the fridge or the food and drinks from the restaurant. The thought of it still makes me shudder. But it wasn't just the food. The service was atrocious, unfriendly staff, poor communication, and a general lack of care. It was like they were doing me a favor by serving me. I asked for room service, and it was like pulling teeth. They barely spoke English, and when they did, it was as if they were speaking a different language altogether. I felt like I was in a bad dream, and I couldn't wake up. And then there was the internet. Oh, the internet. It kept going down, and when it did come back on, it was slow and unreliable. It was like they were trying to torture me, to make me feel like I was stuck in some kind of digital purgatory. But the cherry on top was when a little girl got lost, and my wife and I informed the hotel staff and reception. It took them 45 minutes to find her parents, and when they did, they just shrugged it off, saying they were too busy to attend to the lost girl. I was appalled, disgusted, and heartbroken. It was like they didn't care about the well-being of their guests, like we were just pawns in their game of profit over people. As I sat in my room, feeling like I was going to lose my mind, I couldn't help but think about the unprofessional service, the lack of care, and the general incompetence of the staff. It was like they were trying to drive me crazy, to make me feel like I was the problem, not them. So I'll ask you, dear readers, have you ever had an experience like this? Have you ever felt like you were being scammed, like you were just a means to an end? Let me know in the comments below. And to the Kamala Beach Resort, Phuket, I say this. You may have thought you could get away with providing subpar service, but you were wrong. You may have thought you could scam your guests, but you were wrong. You may have thought you could get away with being incompetent, but you were wrong. I'll never forget my experience at the Kamala Beach Resort, Phuket. It was a nightmare, a living hell, and a constant reminder that some places just don't care about their guests. So, if you're thinking of staying here, think again. Think twice.
You know, I've been looking into crimes near Kamala Beach Resort, Phuket, and it's just so sad, you know? Like, you'd think it's a beautiful place, but there's so much going on underneath. So, businesses near Kamala Beach Resort, Phuket are like super shady, you know? They set up fake storefronts, and it's like, how can you even do that? They're targeting tourists and locals alike, promising them fake investments and stuff. I mean, in 2024, the police caught over 100 people, mostly Russians, running these illegal businesses. They were using fake joint ventures with ties, and it's like, how can you trust anyone? They were even using these storefronts to get fraudulent work permits. Can you believe it? I predict that the people who got scammed were probably so confused and frustrated. They must have felt so stupid, you know? Like, they trusted these businesses, and then it all turned out to be a lie. And what about the Thais who were involved? Were they in on it too? It's just so messy. And then there's this whole land use dispute going on in Kamala, where small shop owners are being threatened with eviction. It's like they've been running their shops for generations, and suddenly they're being told to leave. I mean, who's behind this? Is it the government? Are they just trying to push out the locals and bring in more commercial developers? It's just so unfair. I predict that those shop owners are probably so scared and stressed out. They're fighting for their livelihoods, and it's like, can't the government just see that? They're not just fighting for themselves. They're fighting for their families and their communities. It's just so heartbreaking. And then there's this one case of motorcycle theft near a storefront in Thailand. It's like, you'd think it's a safe area, but nope. Some guy just walks away with someone's motorbike. I mean, what's the point of even having CCTV if you're not going to catch the thief? I predict that the guy who got his motorbike stolen was probably so angry and frustrated. He must have felt so helpless, you know, like what can you do when someone just takes something that's yours? It's just so wrong.
The businesses surrounding Kamala Beach Resort, Phuket, well, let's just say they've left me feeling disheartened. It's not a vibrant ecosystem of hospitality, it's more like a slightly faded postcard. Looks okay from a distance, but up close, the colors are running and the edges are frayed. It's a landscape where optimism goes to quietly weep in a corner. From what I've observed, businesses here operate with a, shall we say, a peculiar disregard for basic standards. A sort of resigned acceptance of mediocrity that hangs heavy in the air. It's as if they're daring you to have a good time, fully expecting you to be disappointed. And honestly, after sifting through the feedback, I'm inclined to agree with their expectations. Let's start with places to simply acquire sustenance. Grocery stores, for example. They seem to function on a principle of planned obsolescence, not just for their goods, but for their entire operation. Big C Market, a major player, appears to be locked in a perpetual state of renovation, a sort of Sisyphean rebuild where they dismantle something only to dismantle something else. Staff apparently spend their days lost in a labyrinth of their own making, unable to locate items they stocked yesterday. People are finding produce displayed without refrigeration, a gamble with your digestive system that, frankly, feels aggressive. And then there's the electronics. Oh, the electronics. A recurring theme is the sale of broken goods, followed by a masterful display of customer service that can only be described as non-existent. They admit to selling you something faulty and then just stare. It's a power move, really. A silent assertion of dominance over your holiday budget. It's a predatory system preying on the unsuspecting tourist, and it feels deeply unfair. It's as though they've discovered a loophole in the laws of decency. I've seen comments about expired goods too. Expired. The disregard for basic quality control is staggering. Honestly, going to Big C feels like entering a sort of retail purgatory. Moving on to self-care, because we all deserve a little pampering. Even in the face of overwhelming disappointment, we find Oasis Spa. Now spas are supposed to be sanctuaries, places of tranquility, healing hands, and fragrant oils. Oasis Spa, according to the stories, is not that. The language barrier appears to be significant. Treatments feel rushed, like you're on a conveyor belt to relaxation, only the conveyor belt is broken and sputtering. The facilities, well, let's just say insects are part of the ambience, a complimentary bug with every massage. And the hot water is, there are reports of therapists who seem less interested in alleviating tension and more interested in contemplating the existential dread of their profession. Apparently, they'll complain about the room being too dark during your massage. It's as if they're outsourcing their emotional burdens to you, the paying customer. It's invasive. I found reports of treatments being cut short, of cold oil being applied with all the enthusiasm of a tax audit. And one very detailed complaint from someone translating from Russian described an utter disregard for temperature control. It almost reads like a clinical report, documenting a descent into sparlated despair. Then we have the social hubs, the places designed for revelry and good times. Café Del Mar, with its beautiful setting, is apparently plagued by rudeness. A pervasive, almost systemic rudeness that infects the staff like a particularly unpleasant virus. People report being treated with disdain, as if their presence is an inconvenience. The taxi situation outside is particularly alarming, a taxi mafia, as one person put it, aggressively preventing other drivers from picking up customers. It's a protection racket disguised as transportation. They don't let you see your table before booking, then try to charge you again if you want a different one.
One person detailed being cornered by security for accidentally walking in the wrong entrance. This is not hospitality, this is a hostile takeover of your vacation. The manager, Dara, seems to specialize in the art of non-assistance, repeating the same phrase, "This is policy," like a broken record. And the food, apparently it's not worth the trouble of navigating the emotional minefield. It is deeply unsettling and profoundly sad, and let's talk about